Okay, I want to show you how to do the electroporations. So this is the setup you need. You need these alcohol prep pads and this bottle of lidocaine. Those are both found, those should be found up here in the cabinet. Okay, you're going to lay a diaper down, you're going to lay a diaper down underneath, and those are found in this cabinet here, right there. Okay, you also need your DNA mixed with this fast green dye. So it's called fast green, and it's a dye that we're going to use to color our DNA. Okay, so what you want to do with this fast green dye, and it's 10x, and so you're going to put 1/10 of it into your DNA. I have measured out 20 microliters of my DNA into this small tube, and then I added 2 microliters of the fast green to get the appropriate dilution. So now I've got 20 microliters of my DNA with the fast green. The fast green is found in the freezer. I'll put it in the Bio 485 antibodies box, just so you know where it is. Okay, so your DNA, once you collect that, I would put about 20 microliters of the DNA in there, and then 2 microliters of the fast green. Okay, the next thing you'll need are the pulled pipettes, and I'm going to pull some for you so that you have them there. And so these are the pipettes that you're going to use to inject. You're going to need this injector. This thing is found in this box that's found on top of this electroporator machine inside this cabinet here that says surgical machines. Okay, so you need this. Okay, you need a couple Q-tips. These Q-tips are found over right there. Okay. And then you need one of these sharp pairs of tweezers. And then you need some pipette tips and a P10 pipetter. You need this machine here, the anesthesia machine. You need to make sure that there's isoflurane in there. The level needs to be between the white and the 2 white lines, and I recently filled it up, so it should be there. And then you need this 15 mil conical tube attached to the end of the tube there. This 15 mil conical tube has a hole in it, so that I cut it off with a razor blade. I got this from, where did I get that? Oh, it was just laying right here. But I'm going to put it up here in this cabinet also. Okay, so that's what you need there, and then you attach that to the end of the tube, and then the anesthesia will come out the tube and through this, and this is where you can put the rat's head. Okay, the other thing you need is a light so that you can see what you're doing in the rat's head. So I'll turn that on, and we've got the light going. All right, so the other thing you need set up is the electroporator. So inside this box are going to be these tweezer trodes. And what you do is and there's going to be some wires here. There's going to be a red wire and a black wire, and you plug those in up here up front, and then you also plug them in. You plug them into the tweezer trodes. Okay, so the tweezer trodes plug into those red and black wires that are coming out of the electroporator, and so we've got the tweezer trodes hooked up. The settings should be the same. You don't need to change those settings. So the settings on the electroporator should be okay. The other thing you need is the electro gel. And that should just be sitting on top of the electroporator. All right, so what you're going to do is bring your rat pup, either 1 or 2 days old, in here, and you're going to turn on the anesthesia. So the first thing you do is you turn on the oxygen tank. So we've got oxygen flow here. I'm going to come here and look at this red ball on the little tube there, and that red ball should be about halfway up. See it floating there about halfway up? Then I know the oxygen is flowing. Then I'm going to set the anesthesia machine to, I'm going to set it to 2 or, 3 I think actually is what we've been doing. So I'll set that to 3. And then remember you have to push down this tab in order to turn it. And then we've got anesthesia flowing into here. Oh yeah. Woo. Okay. Once you've got anesthesia flowing in there, you can stick the rat's, you can stick his nose in there into the hole opening, and you're going to wait for the rat to fall asleep and not respond to any toe pinch. While you're waiting for him to fall asleep, you can prepare your pipette. So what you want to do is grab one of the pipettes, and remember these guys have a really sharp tip. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. Okay, so that tip needs to be, you're going to have to cut it because the end is closed off. And so I'm going to see if I can get it to focus a little bit better here. Okay, I can't really get it to focus better, but you're really going to, you break it off probably about halfway down. Oh, there we go. You're going to break it off right about, let me see if I can set it on the table here. Okay, you want to break it about right there. Okay, so you just break it with these tweezers, break it off. A little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more. There we go. So that's got a nice tip to it. Ready to inject. Well, ready to get the DNA. So the next thing you do is you set your pipetter to 10 microliters. Okay, so I've got that 10 microliters, and I'm going to draw up 10 microliters of my DNA. Okay, so I have 10 microliters of the DNA there, and then I'm going to put that 10 microliters into the back of the pipette. So not the tapered, not the pointed end, but the back end. Okay, so I got the back of the pipette filled. I had to get a new pipette because it wasn't going in, and so I got a new pipette and clipped it. If your DNA doesn't load into the back, it might be that your tip is not clipped enough. Okay, so then once you have that 10 microliters into the back, what you're going to do is you're going to attach it to this thing here. Remember, it goes into this. Okay, so I've got it in there and I've screwed it down, and at the other end of the tube I put a pipette tip that I can blow on, and so what I'm going to do is blow that DNA down to the bottom of the pipette. So I'm having a hard time blowing that out. So what I did is I got a piece of parafilm with PVS on it. I'm going to stick the tip in there and try to blow it out. Okay, that worked. Now it's all at the tip. It's hard focusing that. Let's see. Anyway, you can see it's all at the tip, hopefully there. Okay, so now your rat hopefully is asleep and you've got your needle loaded. And so what you want to do next is do a toe pinch and make sure that the rat's not moving at all. And then you can take the Q-tip and dip it into the lidocaine and then rub it on the head of the rat. And then you can take the alcohol prep pad and just clean off the head of the rat. And then what you're going to do is bring the light over, and this light is going to help you see inside the head. Remember that what we're aiming for is the ventricle on the right side. And so what you do is lay that light up against the head of the rat and look inside, and hopefully you'll be able to see through there the ventricle, you know, as the light shines through it. And remember, we're looking for, if you remember, at the back of the brain you'll have blood vessels that look like that, and then you'll have something along the midline. The nose would be up here, the eyes are going to be down there, and okay, so there's the nose up there, and then you're looking to put the needle in just right about there. Okay, and so you stick the needle down straight in. So you grab that needle and stick it straight in to the skull until it's down, until the tip of the needle's down into the ventricle, and then with this other end you'll blow out until those 10 microliters are all inside the ventricle. And that dye, with the dye you should be able to see the DNA going into the ventricle. Okay, once you've got it in, then you're going to take it right over here to the electroporator and electroporate it. So you're going to get some of the electrode gel, and you'll put it on both sides of the tweezer trodes, and then you'll put the tweezer trodes around the head of the rat with the plus end on the right side, because that's the side you injected. And so then you stick these right just ahead of its eyes, basically, just rostral to its eyes. And then you squeeze just a little bit to create some contact. And then it's nice to have a partner, because at that point, when everything's there and you've got it held, then you'll have your partner hit this button right here, pulse. Of course, you have to have the power on first, and then you hit this button, pulse, and you'll hear 5 beeps, and you'll see the rat jump 5 times. Okay, then what you want to do is quickly cut off one of the tails, or one of the toes of the rat with some scissors. And it's best if you can heat these scissors up with the Bunsen burners so that it cauterizes when you cut. So there's the Bunsen burners there, and there's the gas over there, and you can cauterize when you cut, and then they won't bleed. And then just make a very careful note of what toe you cut off and what you injected, so that we know what DNA it was that you injected in there. Okay, and then I would bring the rat back here, and if he doesn't look like he's very happy or awake, then I would turn the isoflurane completely off and just let him run under this oxygen. So stick his nose back in there and let him recover a little bit with the oxygen. Oh, I forgot a very important thing. The very important thing I forgot was the heating pad. So the heating pad is right here in this bottom drawer, and what you need to do is stick that, before you set up everything, stick the heating pad under the diaper and make sure it's under there, and then plug it in, and plug it in here, and then you have to turn it on. So you hit the on button there, or hold down the on button, and make sure it's set to 100 degree, 98 to 100 degrees. Okay? And then it will run for 60 minutes. So you have to keep an eye on it, and when that 60 minutes are up, it will turn off. So you have to go back and turn it on again. Okay, and so again, that should go underneath this diaper when you set everything up. Alright, so you let the rat recover until it's awake under the oxygen on the heating pad, and then when it's recovered, then you can put it back with its mom, and you can move on to the next rat.